So today I thought it would be fun to share with you all of the books that I've recently purchased. It has been a little while since I've done a book haul. I didn't think I had that many to show, but when I sat down and counted them all up, I have 21 books to haul today. I know that seems like a lot. It is kind of a lot. Chapters had some really good sales and I couldn't deny them. So I'm going to start with the books that I've already read, and unfortunately there's only 3 of them. The first one is Anne and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. I picked this up in paperback. Yes, I do already own a hardcover, but I think I mentioned in my last book haul that I was getting really into paperbacks. So this is one of my favorite young adult romances. It was one of the first contemporary books that I read for BookTube, and I loved every second of it. If you don't know what it's about, you should definitely read it because it's fantastic. It is about this girl named Anna who travels to Paris, France for a boarding school, and she meets friends and a boy, and it's fantastic. It's light, it's fluffy, it's so cute. I also picked up Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. I first bought this book and I think my first book haul on this channel. It was either my first or my second. It goes back a long ways. So when I read this book, I went into it expecting something else. I expected very creepy, very horror, almost like a haunted house story, and I didn't get that from it, and I think that's why I rated it so low. I gave it like a 2.5 or a 3-star. I'm looking forward to going back into the world because it does generally have such high ratings that I think I just missed something the first time. I just finished reading this the other day, and that is Paper Girls Volume 1 by Brian K. Vaughan, Cliff Chang, Matt Wilson, and Jared Fletcher. This is a graphic novel collection. I don't know. I couldn't really tell you what it's about if I tried. I really didn't like it. I rated it 2 stars on Goodreads, and I keep thinking about dropping that rating down to 1 because the only part of this graphic novel that I liked was the artwork. I thought the colors were really cool and the artwork was really detailed. The story didn't make any sense. It's kind of like sci-fi, which might have been my issue with it. I don't do well with sci-fi. But yeah, the plot just didn't make sense. Just know I didn't like it, and I'll talk more about it in my wrap-up at the end of the month. This month I was sent 4 books to review, for which I am very grateful. The first one is The Best Kind of Magic by Crystal Sateri. This was sent to me by Disney Hyperion, so thank you so much, Disney. This novel sounds so cute and adorable. I don't know, I haven't read it yet, but it is about a girl named Amber who has Wiccan genes in her DNA. She thinks that it is kind of passed over her because she doesn't have any cool abilities, but she can see who somebody's true love is just by looking at them. She works at her mother's magic shop and is approached by the mayor's son to help him find his father's missing girlfriend. So throughout the story, she ends up falling for this mayor's son, and when she looks at him, realizes that she is not his perfect match. I think it's a series. I think it's going to be really cute, and I'm really looking forward to reading it and reviewing it for you. As well, this month I was contacted by the author. He had found my YouTube channel and my blog, and we just got to talking, and he told me that he writes books. So he wanted to send me a couple, so I requested 1, but he sent me 3, so thank you so much. The author I am talking about is Jonathan Kis-Lev. He has written many, many books. I will link his Goodreads page down below. It's a lot of like historical fiction with true events, true times built into it. Anyway, I'm really excited to talk about all of these books. So the first one that he sent me is Masterwork, and it says a guide for writers, musicians, and all artists on turning from amateurs into masters. So I guess because I told him that I'm interested in being a writer myself, he thought I would benefit from this one. So looking forward to giving that a read. He sent me Dear Tolstoy, Yours Gandhi. I love history. I love historical fiction. So really interested in reading this one. And then the one that I specifically requested was The Two Marias. So this is about the war and 2 girls that are friends in school, and then when the war comes out, how they stick together and how they stay friends and how, I don't know, life affects them, I suppose. It says, a true tale about true friendship. So I'm really excited to read this, and I'm hoping it's really good. They all have high ratings, and like I said, he's written many books, so again, linked down below. They were sent not solicited, but I just want all of you guys to check them out. This month I picked up 4 bargain books, so I'm going to talk about them next. The first one is Postmortem by Patricia Cornwell. This is her debut novel. I don't know if she has any more out at this point, but it was part of a 2 for $15 chapters, so I thought it's originally $13, why not? So this is an adult thriller about a medical examiner named Kay, and she is just doing her job, living her life, when a serial killer starts roaming the streets, and she is trying to help them track him down because somebody wants her dead herself. So I think this is a series. I'm not quite sure. It is a series. So if I read it, I'll probably continue on. I'm not usually a fan of the mass market paperback, but when it was cheap, I couldn't say no. It sounded interesting. I picked up After Alice by Gregory Maguire. This is the same author of Wicked, which I haven't read yet. I keep meaning to. I should, considering I have a Wicked tattoo. But this follows kind of the 1800s, 1860s Oxford and how everybody reacted to Alice falling down the well. And then I believe it kind of follows into modern time of somebody else following that journey. I'm not really sure. Didn't really understand the plot, but it was cheap. It was $7. So when I went on Goodreads, it does have really low ratings. So if you've read this, please let me know what you thought of it. I picked up City of the Lost by Kelly Armstrong. I believe this is an adult thriller as well, but I was drawn into picking this one up because of the author. So one of my best friends on here, Carrie, she loves this author. She talks about her books quite often, and I believe she's also Canadian, so gotta support them Canadian authors. So from what I understand, this follows a young detective who is on the run. She's seeking refuge, and it supposedly has no correlation to that when she was younger. She killed a man and got away with it. So that was about where I stopped reading in the plot. That sounded interesting enough, and it's a little on the thicker side, and I believe this is a series as well. I thought I picked up more standalones, but I enjoy series. Summer is the best time to get through them, so I'm looking forward to this, and it was $8 for hardcover, so. And then the bargain book that I was most excited to find, I was going around taking pictures for a year-a-thon, and I saw this out of the corner of my eye and freaked out. Love Lies Beneath by Ellen Hopkins. As many of you know, I love Ellen Hopkins books, but this is an adult novel, and it's her first time writing in prose, so it is a little bit older. But it is about a woman caught in the middle of a love affair, and it says it could be her salvation or her undoing, so I think it's more of a contemporary and will probably still follow some of the same hard-hitting topics that her YA does, but probably a little bit stronger because it is YA and she can cross those lines. So I'm really excited to read it. I love her writing style. And then when I read The You I've Never Known, I really enjoyed the way she did her prose then. So looking forward to reading it in an adult form. So like I mentioned earlier, I got really into buying paperbacks. Whenever I'm iffy on a book now, or if it's a book I've wanted to read, I've been starting to pick them up in paperback because I find them much easier to read, and then if I love the book, then I'll go back and buy the hardcover because they are so expensive in Canada right now. I'd rather just buy the paperback so that I can still read them and enjoy them and support the author. So I picked up 5, and I'm really excited to talk to you about them all. The first one that I was drawn to picking up is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. Yes, I did once own this in hardcover, but I never read it. I heard really good things about it, but I heard that it was really slow to read and the writing style was really difficult, and I was still like first getting into reading and I wanted to read fast and as much as I could, so I ended up unhauling it. But ever since then, I have doubted it and regretted it, and whenever I see somebody talking about it, a lot of people say it's their favorite series. I just get a little sad inside. So I thought, what the heck? I picked it up, and I'm really excited to read it. It is a finished series, so if I enjoy it, I can keep going. And I don't think I've ever read anything by Maggie Stiefvater, so I'm pretty excited. I picked up This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. I read The Archived, and I didn't like it, but it is one that I want to give another chance. I don't know. I enjoyed her writing style, and I think the plot was just a little weird. I'm really into rereading books right now. So this one is fantastic, so I've heard. This is about a girl who wants to be as ruthless as her father and lead their city, and then also about a guy who is a monster. So I'm not sure what kind of monster, but the tagline says there's no such thing as safe. So I'm really excited to read it. Like I said, I really enjoyed her writing style, and I've heard a lot of good things about this author, especially from Vicious, which I still haven't read. but I want to, so hopefully I get to this one soon. I picked up Project Cain by Jeffrey Gerard, again another one that I owned in hardcover. I need to stop unhauling books unless I'm very certain about them, because again, I regret my decision. So this is my friend Keisha's one of her favorite books, and it is about a 16-year-old who finds out that he was constructed in a lab from DNA by Jeffrey Dahmer. So he's not the only boy that this has happened to, but some of the other boys that he's grown up with and that went through this procedure have gotten loose and have started killing. So now I guess because he has that DNA in him, I don't know if he's gonna start killing or if he's just gonna try and go after them. It does have a sequel companion that is an adult novel. I think it's called Cain's Blood. So I don't know. I'm probably gonna read this soon. I love serial killer things and I've heard good things about it from Keisha, so I'm gonna have to read it. And then the last two are ones that I've been eyeing since they came out, and when I saw them in paperback, I thought, might as well. I've been wanting to read them for a year. First one is The Leaving by Tara Altebrando. This is about 6 kindergartners that got kidnapped, and 11 years ago only 5 come back. So none of them can remember what happened. They have no idea. They don't really care about the 5th one that's gone missing. And the person that does is Max's sister, the one that didn't come back, wants to know what happened, doesn't believe that nobody remembers, thinks there's something fishy going on. I don't know. I read another book by her, and I already don't remember what it's called, but I didn't like it. I think I only gave it 2 stars, so that was a bit of a deterrent in reading this, but I've heard really good things. It does have pretty good reviews, so I like suspense and horror, so hopefully I like it. And then the last paperback that I picked up is Shooter by Carolyn Pignat. This one, again, is one that I've been looking at since it came out in hardcover, even kind of before it came out. So it is about a school shooting, which I love those stories. Once upon a time, I was writing one of my own. Hopefully I get back to that someday. But this one follows 5 grade 12 students, or if you're not Canadian, 5 high school seniors. And they all get thrown together in an unlocked boys' washroom trying to wait out and survive this mass killing. Really excited to read this. We'll probably read it soon. And hopefully I enjoy it and hopefully it's done well. I have read a couple that were done very poorly, so I have high hopes. And then the last 5 that I picked up are the ones that I'm most excited about. I don't know which one I want to start next, even though I'm really excited about these. These ones are some of like my most anticipated and ones that I had to have. So I'm looking forward to it. The reason that I bought so many books, I forgot to mention, is Chapters the other day was having a buy 3 get the 4th free, and I couldn't say no. I picked up Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. Haven't read anything about this author, but once I heard the synopsis, I had to anticipate it. I was going to pre-order it, but instead just picked it up in the store when it came out. So this is about a girl that runs a blog, and I think she kind of does artwork for it. Yeah, she runs an online webcomic, and then she meets this guy that doesn't know who she is, that she's the author that writes fan fiction for said webcomic. So I think it's going to be really modern and really relatable, and I'm really looking forward to reading this contemporary. I grabbed All in Pieces by Suzanne Young. I honestly have no idea what this book is about. I just love Suzanne Young. The Program is one of my favorite series, although it is problematic. I don't really care. I just love it. So I have no idea what this is about. I think it's just contemporary, but it's very short, so I'll probably read it very fast and very soon. This one I don't know how I haven't read yet. I'm so excited just talking about it, and every time I think about it I want to read it, so I know I just have to pick it up. But I got One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus. This is a young adult thriller about 5 kids that walk into detention and only 4 walk out. It does have a similar storyline to The Leaving, which I talked about, but this one they do find the 5th body in the detention room, so obviously one of the 4 in here did it, or they know what happened. So we have the brain, the beauty, the criminal, the athlete, and the outcast. So 5 of them, one of them's dead, one of them had to have done it or knows what happened. So I've heard really good things about it. It only came out recently and I'm really excited to read it. I finally picked up Caravel by Stephanie Garber. This is a young adult realistic fantasy, or it has fantasy elements in it. I'm not really sure. I haven't heard too many people talk about it. I've heard a lot of people haul it, but nobody's really said what it's about. What I've gathered from the synopsis is that it is about a girl named Scarlett who lives kind of on this island away somewhere with her father and her sister, and she's always wanted to go see Caraval. So I figured it was like a show or a circus, but the more I read into it, it sounds like it's kind of a game and a production, which it says at the top, remember it's only a game. That should have been my flag. But this one, her sister takes her to see it, and then her sister ends up getting kidnapped, and the game ends up being whoever can find her sister first wins. It has high ratings, but like I said, I've never seen anybody actually talk about it, so maybe I'm just missing that, but I'm really excited to read it. And then the last book that I picked up, I didn't know if I wanted to get or not, but in the end I had to do it. I picked up How to Be a Boss by Lily Singh, aka Superwoman on YouTube. I have been watching Lily for years and years. She is from pretty close to where I live in the Toronto area, so I don't know, I love her videos. I find her really funny, and it's been awesome to see her grow and become more popular and expand her brand and who she is. So I don't know, I think this is just like every other like Connor Franta, Grace Helbig book, that it's just little stories, kind of like short stories, essay excerpts. But I didn't know if I wanted to read this on audiobook, but because there's so many pictures and stuff in here, I think I am just going to sit and read it. I'll probably read it throughout a month or so and not just in one straight sitting. But yeah, I think Lily's really funny and really inspiring, so I'm looking forward to reading this. That was my very long book haul. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm so excited about all of these books. Let me know which ones you think I should start with, because I'm already overwhelmed. My TBR is back over 200. So I gotta get reading. So hopefully I can get some reading done before I go to work today and get through most of these before my wrap up at the end of the month. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I talked about. Not sure if I said that, but I should just stop rambling. I hope you have a good day, and I will see you soon. Bye.